After mounting scandals and a massive drop in support, Maine's Graham Platner has ended his campaign for U.S. Senate. The Democrat posted an 11-minute video last night. He blamed the political establishment for his exit from the race and denied the allegations against him.
I just want to make it clear, this is all false. The things that have been claimed did not happen. It's not real. We believe that for the movement to continue, it can't be made.
Now, Maine Democrats face a July 27th deadline to choose a replacement nominee, and the pool of contenders is already growing. CBS News has learned Maine's former CDC director, that's Dr. Nirav Shah, officially announced his campaign this morning. Our Caitlin Huey-Burns spoke with him yesterday. He says getting Maine voters involved with selecting the new candidate is crucial.
And when we think about going up against an opponent like Senator Collins, who is uniquely vulnerable this year, we need to make sure that our nominee comes out of the gate with as much strength as possible. They need a full head of steam behind them, and a strong nomination process will help generate and propel them forward.
CBS News political director Fin Gómez joins us now from his D.C. office with more on this. Fin, good morning to you. Platner really seemed to come off as defiant in his clip and in his statement. What do you make of that?
Yeah, absolutely, Errol. I think his message was unmistakably defiant. He spent 11 minutes adamantly denying the allegations against him, calling them false, calling them not real, and arguing that he was pushed out by the Democratic political establishment and corporate media. He also talked about the populist movement that he helped create in Maine. But regardless of how he framed it, I think, Errol, the political reality was just too much. It really shifted. These allegations were just too severe to overcome, and he lost support, as you know, not just from establishment leaders like Chuck Schumer, but from fellow progressives like Bernie Sanders. And I think you saw that sort of from national to Maine Democrats, party donors. They all abandoned his campaign and really leaving him with virtually no path forward. Errol.
So we just heard from Dr. Nirav Shah a moment ago. I want to show you former Maine Senate President and gubernatorial candidate Troy Jackson speaking before Platner dropped out of the race.
I'm definitely going to seek the nomination. There's a movement right now of people that are upset with government, and I don't want to see it die.
You got Shah, you got Jackson. How big do we expect this field of contenders, potential replacements, to be?
Errol, great question. I think that is the question right now, because I think it's going to be probably pretty big, pretty crowded. Look, Troy Jackson was a gubernatorial gubernatorial contender this year. He did not win in that race, but he was backed by who? Senator Bernie Sanders. So he immediately gets a lot of attention from progressives. Democrats have until July 27th to choose that replacement nominee after Platner drops out. He still hasn't officially filed that paperwork. But look, there's not going to be another primary, and there's already intense interest behind the scenes. You talked about Nirav Shah, but there's also others. Troy Jackson, like you mentioned, Dan Kleben, who's a business leader who did initially launch a Senate campaign last year, but bowed out and actually ended up endorsing Janet Mills in that race. You also have, there's also Congresswoman Chellie Pingree, who's interesting. Her name's been discussed a lot, and along with Secretary of State Shenna Bellows. And also, another question that I have, and a lot of people have, is what does Janet Mills do? That's the governor who faced Platner and lost, really suspended her campaign in that race before the primary. She was the handpicked candidate by Chuck Schumer, by the establishment, more of a moderate, if you will. What does she do? Democrats in Maine will now hold a delegate nomination convention following that paperwork that Platner has to file, and then it's this big pivot. You go from they have to find someone who can unify the party right now in all this chaos, and then immediately pivot to the general election. July was supposed to be sort of a quiet month, really raising money, but now and getting ready for the general election. But now they have to pick a nominee, in the race against Susan Collins. Collins, who's the incumbent Republican in this race. That's really now the big challenge. She was and is considered one of the most vulnerable Republicans at the beginning of this year, at the beginning of this cycle. But now, obviously, this helps her. So the question now is who will be that Democrat who's going to be carrying the Democratic banner against her in this must-win state that Democrats need if they hope to take back the Senate come November.
Yeah, and that's why we're paying so much attention to this and we're leading with this. National Democrats see this as a must-win. That's certainly in jeopardy. Fin, thank you so much.